Good evening, everyone. A warm welcome to each one of you, and each one of you who is right now present on Zoom, and all the people who will be watching us later on YouTube. My name is Divya Shah. I'm a journalist by profession, but life की ना calling कुछ और थी, purpose कुछ और था, कर कुछ रही थी. Though I loved my stint as a journalist, but now I am, into this voluntary work of creating awareness on mental health through Radio Diva for the past 2.5 years. It has already, we have completed 2 years, and we'll be completing third year on 5th of July. And this platform has gradually evolved into a platform where everyone, a variety of experts from their own fields, have shared their life journey with us, their wisdom with us, and helping us all to be a better individuals. It's a beautiful family of happy go lucky community. Happy, I call it happy go lucky community. The more happier you are, the luckier you get. So happiness attracts luck. This is something that I totally believe in. So that's how we are advancing, and we would love to have you as part of our community. So please be part of this growing community. Please follow us on Facebook and Insta by the same name, the name Radio Diva, and do subscribe to the YouTube channel because we really need your help. Our content is genuine and we want your help to take it forward as much as possible so that maximum people can get benefited by our honest content. So, okay, it's not audible. Is it audible to everyone else? Is Rina ma'am, am I audible to everyone?
Yes,
Yes,
you are
Divya.
audible.
We can
Okay.
hear you, Divya.
Perfect. So I think there is a issue. If someone can help her through the chat box, please help whoever is not able to hear. We are a community who's ready to help each other. And yeah, so we have a beautiful speaker with us. She has taken sessions with us before also, and every time she came for a session, we all loved the honesty with which she spoke about it. She works on a topic and she gives it time, and then she comes up with a topic. So this is a very important topic that she has taken. We all have children, and I mean, we all have this concern because of social media, because of every child, everyone is exposed to social media, and there are things that we want our children not to watch, but still them being so vulnerable and us having such a busy life, some mishaps can happen. So this is a very important topic that Dr. Rina Gupta has taken. Dr. Rina Gupta has 25 years of spiritual counseling. She recently was in Dubai, and she was doing a session for so many people, and it was a super successful event that she did. So her areas of specialization include not just working on, she works on past life regression, she works on spiritual regression between, and she has done inner child healing. She also is a akashic therapist, if I can call. She reads and heals, and I speak to her, I feel so much healed. Some people have that Midas touch to them, and that's what Dr. Reena Gupta is all about. So I'm really blessed that she herself, volunteered, "Ki, let's do this topic." In fact, she shared a case study with me where a crime was committed by two small children who were addicted to porn, and that really alarmed me. So we jointly thought, let's take up this topic. It's important to start a discussion on this topic. So a warm welcome, Reena ma'am. Thank you so much for doing this, and all yours, over to you. You have to unmute. Yes. Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Divya, for having me again on this show. It's really a privilege to be here, and a lot of blessings and gratitude to you. So this topic I found was really alarming as I read this. Sexual acts, which is not. It is not good for such a small child to behave in this way, and apart from that, they are committing a crime of murder. So this really shocked me and alarmed me. I said, no, this is a topic which we all should discuss. Since COVID times, all our children are getting exposed to so much of internet, on working online and all, and how much are we as parents aware that what our children are doing on the internet. So this topic was really of great concern, and I thought this is a good platform where we can discuss this and make use of the knowledge which we can gather from all the internet and everywhere. And so here we are discussing. So when a child is watching porn, he also feels very rewarded by this. So, and the more he watches porn, this dopamine starts releasing very fast. And once it releases very fast, the brain is not able to, process such a high level of dopamine, and it will always build a wall of tolerance to this pornography. And so what happens is the child again will now watch more aggressive, more violent pornography videos and content, because it wants to feel that stimulus, because he or she wants to feel that stimulus of the first time which it felt, that kick, that feel good factor which it felt, it would like to feel that again. So in order to feel that again, it is again he is watching or she is watching more of this porn movies, and more filled with more aggression, more violence and all that. So in this episode, what happens is the brain stamina will now start increasing, and it will form like a rock. It will block all the judgment centers of the brain. It will block all the reward centers of the brain, and hence this addiction which the child is now having, this will lead to another type of addiction. Now the child may also get addicted to either alcohol or drugs or some stimulants which he or she feels that if I take this much more, then I will have a better kick. That the first reward factor which he or she has got. And that will again lead to personality disorders, ADHD, schizophrenia, mood disorders, bipolar disorders, you name it, anxiety, stress, depression, all that, and low self-esteem, and all that this child starts feeling. Now, what happens is in this case, when the child becomes more susceptible to all these things, because the neurons which are developing in the brain, because neurons are now developing in this adolescent age, and the child is always learning in this particular age. The child is always learning by a technique called as mirror neurons. This mirror neurons is actually when a child starts imitating behavior, he's learning by imitating behaviors in his environment. So when he is learning in that form, the child will always he will mimic, and do whatever he's feeling, and at the same time, the child, when he's watching or he's seeing some content on pornography, then he will whatever he sees, he actually starts experiencing that to be true. So he doesn't realize that whatever is shown as pornography is fake. So it's all made up stories, or it's not real. He will not realize that. He will always feel that whatever he is watching or seeing is actually true, and he's experiencing all that in his body. And his perception towards different things, towards his even his body, he'll start doing body shaming, because he starts feeling that whatever is being shown as the body which is being shown in the video is like attractive towards the other part. Like if he's a boy, then he will feel that women get attracted to that type of a body, so he'll start feeling that, oh, I don't have this type of body, so he'll do body shaming as well. And at the same time, he will start feeling that he will start relating to women as sex toys. So it's just that the men need sex and women are there to play with. So he will be more aggressive, more hostile towards women. So and at the same time, he will not respect women, because this child, about the news which I had sent you, in this case, that small child, about 11-year-old child who had committed this crime, he was found in a compromising position with his sister about a month ago, because his parents, though they were watching porn, and he would watch his brother and his wife performing all the sexual activities. So that was, and he doesn't understand, an 11-year-old child doesn't understand all this, what the adults are doing. So if he's not aware, even the parents are not aware of what is happening to the child. The child is always observing. And then he wanted to perform all those activities with another, whomsoever he thought. The girl was, just a friend to play with, but with his sister also, he started doing it. So this, you can imagine the amount of influence it will have, especially if it's a girl, she will start even seeing the father as another person. If it's a boy, then mother, sister, doesn't matter who the relation is. He just looks at women or men as a person to play with. So this is a very high risk behavior in which the child is getting engaged. So, and it's almost like a drug addiction. So this addiction to porn it's almost like drug addiction, because when we are watching porn, then the brain is it's releasing certain kind, as I said, dopamine is being released in a very high level. So the brain is not able to process this dopamine. At the same time, neurotransmitters, this is like, which is the neurotransmitters which are like like we have in our subconscious mind. If somebody has read about the subconscious working of the subconscious mind, we have got a fight, flight, and a freeze element into our subconscious mind. So it helps us in that thing, and it also helps us to be more alert. So this neurotransmitter, which is known as norepinephrine, this is often associated with sexual arousal or stress and the fight, flight, or freeze response. Now, what happens is it is making us more alert. So there's a high emotional experiences in the mind of the child when he's seeing all this. So that is the reason why, together with dopamine, he will again remember all that the first time he has seen porn. And then when the divine has created sex in such a way that it feels good to people, husband, if it's being done with the right person, right time, right place, right age, then it's always good. And a certain type of another chemical is released during this activity, which is akin to opium. So, and in the child, when he's growing up, this opium is actually naturally produced by his body, and then he finds pleasure. He has got pleasure centers in his body. And that is the reason why during the hormonal changes, the hormonal activities, the teen will always try and copy the adult. So this is something, but at the same time, the way the society is is formed, we always keep telling them that this is good and this is not good when we are telling them this. So these children who are addicted to porn, they become very secretive. They know that they're not doing something good, but they become so secretive. And at the same time, there's a lot of confusion in their mind, and then they undergo through the physical feeling is good. Okay, they're having the pleasure centers and all, but the emotions which are there involved with this pleasure center, that is, they've got the mental, emotional, social and spiritual feelings which they have, that is negative, and this can be really damaging and traumatic. And apart from that, while if a child is again too much involved in this type of activity, the neurons, as we know, which are they transmit messages from the brain to different parts of the body. They will create new pathways. So if this neuron is involved in a good activity, like I want to do exercise or I want to eat proper food, and I use neuron to repeatedly do an activity, at that time, it will make a new pathway and make that particular thing a habit for me, and it becomes very easy for me to do that activity. But if I'm watching porn, or the child is watching porn, again, it is making a neural pathway, and this it is almost like it is called as the brain plasticity. So it makes pathway, but then it makes this type of activity very easy to watch over. That's why again, alcohol can be de-addicted. You can de-addict, but for de-addiction of porn, it's really difficult. So every time we are using this, a child is using this porn, it is like he is involved so much deeply into this that it's very difficult for him to break their habit. So not only porn will make a child aggressive towards women, he has got negative attitudes and behavior towards women. And it has been seen, again, many researchers are there right from 2001 have been studying. So 2001, 9, 4, 2010, 15, and even recently till 2022. survey of some schools, middle school and high school, it shows that 76% of the people who are committing sexual harassment, they regularly watch pornography. And because they find it, because the teenagers, they are accepting all that violence and sexual to be just a normal part of their life. They don't understand that this is something which is going to destroy their whole relationship in the future relationship. They cannot have a healthy relationship towards other people. Instead of going around and talking to or making healthy friends or going out for a picnic or maybe sports active, only watching this porn day in, day out. They're only watching all these black websites, and hence they will become so isolated that it becomes difficult for them to even pay attention to what they need. The nice things which they need, they don't understand all that, because, and plus the brain also, like it, how do I put it? The brain also, they'll have a very poor mental health, and some parts of the brain, they will be either under damaged or they will be destroyed. And then the impulsive or the willpower of the child also gets weakened up so much that it cannot, the child has no control over himself. So this is one thing which we have to be very careful about the children. Now, coming to also the gray matter will also decrease of the child. No, the gray matter. So once the gray matter is decreased, that means he has no control over what is happening, with no self-control is there. So, and it becomes very difficult for the child to, and he is also, apart from body shaming, like he misuses his time, because the time when he can easily go out and play with children and make friends, he is only watching the film, and he doesn't have a sense of, time. He has lots of misconceptions about perceptions about sex, and then every time he would like to see much more severe type of these all type of movies, or maybe more severe type of content which are there on the internet. So this has again, it's really worthwhile to note what our child are doing. Coming back to the point, what parents can do, apart from what Divya has said, that whenever the child is opening up the internet, we can always put it on the larger screen so that we can also observe all that. Apart from that, there are lots of online, that's what I tried to dig out, what is available for the parents to do. So there are always online monitoring systems, and some they can protect the child from harmful content. Okay, so there one, we can do that filtering device we can use. But okay, for a small child, filtering device is perfectly all right. But when he's a teen, then he will always want to again he'll find ways and means, his friends will find way and means to even search for some other porn sites. So there is a software which is known as accountability software. We can also install that. And this accountability software tells us that whenever a child is trying to watch certain kind of a site, or trying to hit a site which is not good for him, that time there will be a report made to the person who has subscribed that site, and a report will be given to that person saying that your child or this person has tried to see this type of sites. So it will give you a purview of what the child is again looking for when he is looking at the internet. And the first thing we have to understand is, a child who's watching porn, he is not a bad child. So he's struggling. He's though he has been caught, because the first time when he saw that, maybe just, he just saw it as a
by mistake. It maybe then the child maybe came across, and then just as exploring, because children are curious. So
yeah.
just like that, I'm sure, because all children are innocent in general.
Yeah,
I'm sure all of
yes.
you agree.
So so incidentally, he might have come across this kind of site, but once he hits that site, So the the AI of the internet is again very intelligent. Artificial intelligence is definitely intelligent. It will give you all those type of sites. Now it will start making it as a recommendation for you. And so this child is again, he becomes used to all that. So we have to again see what he's looking at, because it's not only my child or your child, it's everybody. All children are at risk. So if the parents together, they come together, instead of thinking, okay, that person is into porn, so he's a bad child, don't go to, like how we used to do for drug addicts or for alcoholics, that okay, that person is drinking, so don't go near him, you will also become an alcoholic. We used to always shudder. I mean, the parents would not allow another their child to go and see that. But this is not the case here, because if that child is seeing pornography, your child is again a secret consumer to that pornography through that child. So, and you won't even know what is happening till the time some very severe thing comes across. He is not bothered about, he's isolating himself, or he's not even eating, drinking. So that again creates a ruckus. When it starts creating a ruckus, then only you will realize what is happening. So the first thing which I would like to say, that parents should take care about these, especially when children are on online. They should take care about these social or like accountability software which they can put, online filtering they can do. And apart from that, keep a very strict eye on the child. We can also train like how we tell a child that this is a good touch and that's a bad touch. Similarly, we can also say this is a good picture and this is a bad picture. So we can, and there are books about this. So I found I came across a book which says good pictures, bad pictures. So we can we can train ourselves to train the child to say how he can turn away from porn the moment he sees that porn, anything to do with porn. He can turn away from that porn. He has that courage to turn away from it. And then he comes running and telling you that this is what is happening. Then another thing is that we should always encourage our children by talking. And first we should become an idol to the child by, at least we should put away our gadgets when we are with the child, so that we can spend quality time with our family. And he should also understand the meaning of a family, rather than all the mother, father and all the children that they're taking that all having their own devices and they're all watching the online, they're watching something. Instead of that, all the gadgets should be put in one place, and there should be a time which is called as quality time or family time. So that also, because that was also.
I absolutely agree on the communication part of it. Ki, when our communication with our kid is clear and free flowing, then anything happens, the child will straight come to us, and we will be aware about it. So I think working on the communication part with the child. And the point that you mentioned, just keep your phone away when your child is talking to you. Make sure that you spend quality time. I think this is a very big deterrent in, ensuring that your child is safe, not just from pornography, but from anything. Anything. Then you will be informed. The child will come to you straight away.
Yeah. Yes. Because even while during my during healing sessions of certain children, I've come across some inner child problem, in which the parents have, maybe the parents were working, and at that time when the child wanted to share something, even a small thing like a poem which he might have read it in the class, and he came to the mother or father saying that this is the poem I've just read in the class and I want you to also hear it. And the parents were working and they said, okay, not now, maybe later. That had such a big effect on the child. It actually we had to do a lot of work on inner child healing with that particular problem, so it becomes so difficult. We don't know what thing is going to hurt the child, and it's going to create what kind of an adult we are again creating out of that small incidents of a child. So so all these things. And apart from that, what we can do is we can talk about this kind of pornography or about sex, about all these things. We can talk to our children without thinking that by talking about this, it is going to make them more curious. Okay, they're already curious, but if we are talking to them in
what will be the right age to talk about this to a child?
See, right age. Like these children were 8 years old. So what can be the right age? The children who committed all these things were 8-year-old. The exposure to this porn is, surveys say it starts from 8. Okay, and from 8, to 17 years of age, there's a lot of exposure. But today, as Shubhra has said, that even a small child, he is performing the activity without knowing what he's doing, because he's copying, he's imitating parents. So it becomes really difficult to say what age. I mean, whatever age is, we have to start actually telling them that this is not the right, this is not good, and this is not good. As we talk to a small child, a girl specifically, and say, this is not the right touch, this is a bad touch, and this is a right touch. Similarly, we can always say, we can always tell our children that this is not a good picture, this is a bad picture, this is a good picture. So we can always tell our child, start talking to them. And it should not be just one-time talk. It should be a talk which should go on continuously, so that the child is engaged with you, so that he knows at the background that whatever happens to me, I have a support of my parents. We should not start lecturing the child. We should rather train them, but we should not start lecturing or getting angry. And we should not at all try our emotions to come in, whatever the case may be. Suppose we find a child is indulged in all this activity. Whatever happens, we should not start lecturing or panic or show anger. We should not do that. Whatever our emotions are, we should keep them at bay for that time we are talking to the child, because he's already in a big soup. And we want this child to come out of this, because we want his whole life is dependent on that now. So we want the child to come away from this hijacking. We want to bring our child from this thing which he's facing. He's been hijacked rather. So
I totally agree. It's a very important topic, and as Anubha mentions, it's a very pertinent topic. I mean, I don't remember seeing any talk happening on such topics. So I totally agree that we keeping and we need to talk about it, and let's talk solutions. Problem is identified, and Shubhra ma'am was talking about 1980s. Right now, the chances and the vulnerability of every child, not just educated, and uneducated, every child, the chances of them bumping into a porn is much more higher. Earlier, the houses were big. Now houses are small. The parents and the child are living in a 2 BHK, in 1 BHK in some cases. And, the proximity of everything has increased a lot. And everything looks good with time. And this is not the time for a child to think about or talk about or see such stuff. It's, as a society as a whole, I think awareness is required.
Where the child feels judged, but it should be like, my parents are there, whatever happens, my parents are there for me. And it should be a very trustworthy, there should be a lot of trust and faith in both the relationship. The child should feel that I can trust the parents, and the parents will also have faith in the child and trust the child that whatever happens the child will come back to us. And apart from that, even schools are responsible, because schools have a great way of making up our character. So a lot of sex education is required. Because I found out that even when we were growing up in my school, we had a camp of 3 days. We had to stay back in school. And this doctor and the nurse, they had all the gadgets there, and they showed us what is all about sexuality. So I find in the Northeast, particularly, not Northeast, in Shillong when I was there in Meghalaya. So I found that there were a lot of, black marriages in the sense, not white marriages. They wouldn't go to the thing. They had a lot of children there, but I didn't find a single boy staring at a girl at that time. So, and whosoever wanted to go, they were free. It is like a free society, but we still felt very safe. All these things were, though they had at that time, instead of calling it a porn, we used to call it as a blue film. So there were many blue films which are going around, but it wasn't affecting the common children. Many children were affected by it, because it's something like every school used to have a sex education camp, and all students, it was compulsory for every student to attend it. It was a residential camp, and it was compulsory. Today also this should be there. Plus there's even if you have to bribe the child into saying that देखो अगर ये करोगे तो भगवान नाराज हो जाएंगे, it doesn't matter. If you can bring religion into it, it's all the better, because there are many things which we can do with religion. So we can, I mean, spirituality is something which is different. Now we are expanding more on spirituality, but religion also has a very important part, saying this is good, this is bad, and all those things. But the good aspect of religion, we can also make the child understand, like, look, this is something which is very sacred, which God has made because he wanted us to co-create the universe with him. And people have started misusing this as whatever. So we have to, it's like, it is not meant for only consumption, it is meant for co-creation of the universe. And so this co-creation will give you life, but the other one is taking your life. So that way also we can talk to the person, that we can also say that what a loving relationship is all about. Like, we can also make the child feel that loving relationship has got 3 major parts in this whole thing, which is like commitment, passion, and also intimacy. So what porn is giving you, just one component, the passion, which is very easy to come by. And this is the first and the easiest thing to come by. But these things, but the other two, commitment and intimacy, they will only come with a good, healthy relationship. So everything has to be, and how, when they grow up, when the child will grow up, he'll develop into having a very loving spouse, and the future would be bright. And something like that, we have to keep telling them, we have to make them understand what is it all about, what is sex all about.
And you know what, I think more than telling them, by it's always walk the talk. No matter how much you tell a child, they always imbibe how you respect your spouse.
Exactly.
How,
yes.
The relation is more of love and not just, just intimacy or just arguments. How, they see the family bonding and then they repeat that. So it's always leading by example, and that helps. And
Yes.
Vidhi's question still, persists. She says, if the child isn't the one who shares explicitly, say for example, the child is a quiet child, and you find the child in a compromising situation, what is the way you should handle that situation? She wants to know that.
Okay, so if we happen to see, again, the only way to understand this is, or to talk to that person, is communication. That is the only way. The first thing is, you have to find out why the child is behaving in such a way.
And I think a delay in reaction. Don't don't show what you said before, Rina ma'am. Don't get into a conclusion right away. Don't keep your reaction to a delayed reaction. Like, keep your anger or your emotions to yourself. Just and then maybe have a conversation with the child. When the child is normal, you are normal, without much reactions. I think that is the way to handle. I really don't.
Yeah, because anger, screaming, raising your voice, or getting angry is not the solution, because it will make that child go more into isolation, and he will finally disconnect with you. So, and that will not help, because now he needs a direction, he needs an understanding, he needs clarity. So it is always wise to say everything in a different form, and with more of empathy and compassion, and try and find a solution, to try and understand why the child is behaving in whatever way he's behaving. Why did he take up this? Why is he like feeling the need to see this more? There must be something which he is feeling, that it is void, something there inside him is void. So just, we have to keep on talking and digging things out from him. That is the only way, because once we start sharing things with the child will also give in to us.
I think even school plays a big role, because like my child, I mean, so when do you talk about such things? You educate the child, like, what I got to know about, like, my child is in 5th standard. What I know about my school, my child's school is in 6th standard. They actually have a session where they explain what is reproduction, how it is. So very mechanically, they make you understand that this is done for procreation, and what is it. I think
actually Divya, what happens is when we in school, especially in that age, when we are in class 5 and class 6, there are topics in science which says about reproduction in animals and plants and all that. So that is very mechanical, and everyone takes it for granted that this, okay, it is that way. But when it comes to human beings, we don't take it in that form. So when it comes to plant, we say, okay, seeds, it'll be dividing into this nuclei and this zygote and all that. We are talking about all that. But when it comes to human, we have to make that person understand, the child understand that human beings are a bit different from the plants. Because when we talk reproduction, it's all common there. Reproduction means no, but when we are talking about, so this segregation is done in class, maybe class 9 or 10, or maybe class 9. So this should come a bit early because they are already matured. Today, child is already matured, have so much exposure to so many things, and they know. In class, when my daughter was in class 7, I didn't have to tell her anything. I just happened to, she asked me a particular question about some sexual thing. And I just told her, I don't remember what, but I remember that I just told her that. And she said, no, the books are not saying like that. I said, do you understand all this? She said, yeah, it's all in the book. And she gave me a very casual answer saying, oh, this is all in there in the book. And I was really shocked to hear that. That was the first time I heard something from her. But that was the day when I realized that so much of exposure. So that thing which we had in class 9 or class 8, I mean, it should come down to class 5 or class 6. So whatever education we can give in school, that should come down, so that the child understands this early. It's not about losing their innocence. It's just the ignorance will go off. They will not have so much of curiosity then to dig into the things because they know, okay, this is meant for this. So most of the children will just turn away from that particular thing. So we have to make the child turn away from that thing. And if anybody else is indulging in it, we have to train our children in such a way that they will come and tell us, look, that child is having a problem. So we can then discuss it with that child's parents instead of judging that child or judging their parents or making fun of them or whatever. We have to help them because it's a very serious issue, because these children are ultimately going to become adults. What kind of society are we going to have then?
I mean, they are our future. We can't, as a society as a whole, we have to, school, the teachers, the students, and the children, and of course the parents. Everyone has to come together and sort it out. We can't tell, oh, parents did the wrong thing, or school did not do the right thing. I mean, no blame game. Let's together sort this issue. Okay, so that's I mean, there are so many principal teachers. What I got to know today in the group, we have lots of people who are teachers, who are principals. So I would request any of you have any question or want to share any example which can benefit others, please go ahead, because
we can actually have an open discussion also. I mean,
that might help.
Everyone can have an open discussion.
Question
all of us are parents.
Your example can help others, get solutions.
Just I would like to add on one thing that, I mean, whatever the thing is, shuru se, I mean, right from the very beginning, कुछ spirituality अंदर डालनी चाहिए. I mean, every member of the family should have something spiritual. ये नहीं सोचना चाहिए, okay, this spirituality, this religious thing is meant only for the time when we become old. ऐसा नहीं है. We have to inculcate some spiritual aspects into our being. Otherwise, agar spirituality nahi hogi, we are going for a rocks.
This is a very important discussion that we had, Rina ma'am. Very important discussion, because no one talks about such things. These such things are hushed under the carpet कि okay, क्यों बात करना है इसके बारे में, पर जरूरी है बात करना इसके बारे में. Whatever video, whatever we recorded today, it will be uploaded on the YouTube channel that I have put on the chat box. I'll request all of you to subscribe it, because we need to grow so that we reach out to more and more people. And we have the chat group. I have shared the link of our chat group. You can be part of our family and be part of our community, the happy-go-lucky community. And I can't thank Rina ma'am enough for taking up this topic, because what she mentioned was right. She spoke about the science of it, how our brain works, the dopamine, how, and it's a very normal thing. We are human beings with chemicals, with with reactions happening in us, and a child getting excited by watching such things is a very normal reaction. But our idea is we don't want our child, if our कहते हैं ना, अति किसी भी चीज की अच्छी नहीं होती है. If our child get addicted to food, it's not good. If our child gets addicted to any, cold drink is not good. So the same way, even porn, we know about it. Our generation knew about it, but we knew that it's not good to get addicted. Now, for this generation, with the phones in their hand, we have to understand, instead of blaming them, we'll have to really understand that it's not easy for them to, like the other day, my child came and she was telling, Bolo Zuban Kesri. And I was like, oh God, from where? You never see such ads in my house. Ye kahan se pick karke aayi? And she kept saying throughout the evening, Bolo Zuban Kesri, and like this, Bolo Zuban Kesri. And I was like, beta ye kahan se leke aayi? So
एक और ऐड आता है दिव्या, एक और ऐड आता है मैचो, and that creates a big problem.
So this is like, children will pick things out from outside. We can't keep them safe, but the thing is that we can definitely sensitize them, and let's concentrate. There might be 98 things we can't do. There might be 2 things we can do. Let's shift our focus to the 2 things that we can do. First is improve our communication with a child. We can't correct our child without connecting with them. So let's connect with our child one-to-one level, rather than just spending weekends with them, rather than just spending, artificial time. Like, quantity time, not important. Quality time is important. You being totally present, leaving your gadgets away. Second is, making sure that you sensitize your child, as Rina ma'am mentioned, that, we need to sensitize them. We need to talk about everything with them as an adult. So I am going to make it a point to mention it to my daughter, though I tell her there are things which as a child you are not supposed to watch, but I think I should reiterate it and ensure that every few days I will repeat it, till the time in her school there is a workshop on how it happens, what is the mechanism of it. And it's a normal thing, we have made such a hawa about, intimacy, sex. It's a normal thing. Like, even, you see, pigeons, you see birds, animals, and we have as a community made it such a hawa. It's a normal thing, but yes, people have used it to make money and have created an industry out of it, and we should not be a consumer of such industry and help. It's not good for our mental health. This is something we should talk. And yes, Radha ma'am rightly said, I guess we need to keep kids busy. But that, I think this generation has kept them over busy. School se aaya, ye class, wo class, bacche ko pura expert banana, leaving them, giving them free time is also important, so that they can read books, write poetry, all that. But yes, too much of classes also is happening these days, which is also not very good. But anyways, you have a right point, Radha Garu, about
No,
it.
actually, I read it somewhere that doing nothing is also doing something.
Yes.
Your brain should be left at times. I'm unable to do this, and my children tell me, you are wearing yourself out. Don't keep on doing at all time. Don't keep on doing something. Just do nothing.
I totally agree. And with you, Shubhra ma'am, and everyone, be part of the community, join the group. Please like, subscribe, and, share it. And this video will be uploaded by tomorrow or day after. Please share it with all your friends, because, Shubhra ma'am, please share it with all the parents. They need to know about it. And who discusses such topics? I have not come across, any platform where we discuss such topics. So I can't thank Rina ma'am enough for taking up this topic, because it's a very important topic. ये हमारी सोसाइटी और हमसे बनती है, दूसरों को हम ब्लेम नहीं कर सकते हैं इसके लिए. हम responsible हैं, ये हम बना रहे हैं सोसाइटी को, right? So let's not put the blame on anyone else, and let's take charge of the situation and bring about a change.